All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today to the Lone Wolf Podcast. Decided to do this through a live stream instead of doing a pre-recorded video. But as the viewers trickle in, I'll probably be answering some chats as we go through. But I haven't made anything in about a week, and I've just had a lot of stuff going on. But I've really had a lot to make content about, honestly. So I figured, you know what, we'll just do a live stream today, and we'll hit this from top to bottom because there's been a lot that's went on inside the Democrat Party in the last few weeks. Um, Obviously, we had the whole protest outside the Capitol for the rent moratorium. Um, and shout out to people like Franco, Max Blumenthal, many others who were there. Of course, there were some other people who were there too. Nick Brana, Corey Bush, a few members of the squad. Uh, Corey Bush and Nick Brana, of course, camped out, but we'll get back to that in a little while. So, a lot of people were shocked to switch topics for just a second. We're going to stay with the Democrat Party. Nina Turner just had an election. And I remember I've watched videos. Everyone was talking about how far up ahead Nina Turner was compared to Chantel Brown. Okay. Kyle Kalinski kept talking about it over on Secular Talk. They're like, oh, well, she's up, but the gap's starting to close. And that's because of dark money coming out. And, you know, they're trying to support Chantel Brown and they're throwing out all the stops and they're trying to smear Nina Turner and et cetera, et cetera. Well, but to be fair, then you also had members of the squad. You had Bernie Sanders and you had Cornel West coming out at the last minute, still trying to make their pitch for Nina Turner. And she was having big turnouts. Okay. So, what closed that gap? Well, first and foremost, here's my first question to Nina Turner. And I'm not a People's Party fan. I don't really trust what they're doing, don't trust what they got going on, but that's neither here nor there. She was pushing us with this whole People's Party argument or whatever, right? So, like, why did she run in the Democrat Party in the first place? Has it not been shown at this point? This is what the Democrat Party is going to do to any kind of an outsider. And I know there's some of the people who, were friends of the channel who didn't trust Nina Turner either. But my question is, why are you still trying this same old method that has been shown it does not work? Why don't you tell me how well running in the Democrat Party worked out for Bernie, Tulsi, Nina Turner? Good grief. Let's just keep going back through the list. Mike Gravel. How well has it worked? Because if they won any kind of an election, they didn't win the big election. Bernie Sanders might win Senate, but he won't win president. Tulsi Gabbard might win a congressional seat, but she won't win the presidency. Nina Turner holds an office of some sort now, but she will not win the big election. She won't win the real House seat. Okay, so I think this has been shown enough that for the people like Kyle Kalinski who keep trying to tell us, oh, this is our best chance. If that's your best chance, there's a simple explanation. You're fucked. You've got no chance. You're not going to take over the Democrat Party. I mean, that's just been shown time and time again. So if people were so enthusiastic about Nina Turner, why did she lose to a corporate hack like Chantel Brown? Well, from what I can tell, basically, I think that a lot of people have come to the realization I don't care who the candidate is, I can't trust the Democrat Party. Now, that's not to say that there's a lot of people who trust the Republican Party or should. I mean, in a lot of ways, they're just as bad. But it's really hard to trust the Democrat Party when you look at the things that are going on. So, that being said, we'll take one of the biggest advocates, a guy I've watched for years, okay, Kyle Kalinski. Now, Kyle always pitches himself as an outsider, but he's always quick to turn around and tell everyone that you need to vote for the Democrats. Third parties don't have a chance, and the Republicans are terrible. So even though I don't like a lot of what the Democrat Party is doing, hold your nose and vote for the Democrats because it's kind of the better deal you've got on the table of some sort. You know, he takes that same approach that Marianne Williamson had on Twitter the other day. Funny enough, she sends out a scathing tweet toward incrementalists and tells the incrementalists that the country is falling apart. And then when she gets pushed back on by my buddy Reed Coverdale about you voted for Biden, and she says, yes, I would do it again. I still prefer a slow descent to a straight decline. Well, first and foremost, if that's what you actually prefer, um, again, don't bitch at the incrementalists. Like, I'm not an incrementalist. I didn't vote for either one of them. But how are you going to bitch at incrementalists when you engage when the last election was coming around in incrementalism? Doesn't make much sense, right? I literally I put out a tweet. I quote tweeted what she said, and I responded and said something along the lines of, "This is the logic of the Democrat Party. This is why I don't like liberals. If there was a pandemic going on in the United States where people were having too much sex and catching syphilis and AIDS, they would tell you try to go ahead and go find the partner that's got syphilis and go ahead and just catch it because at least that one's curable. Just try to, you know, you're going to catch an STD either way. You might as well go with the one they can give you a cure for or something, right? Here's an idea. Why don't you try to find people that don't have either fucking one, or maybe just don't screw so much while all that shit's passing around. Novel fucking concept, but they wouldn't tell you to do something like that. And then, of course, at the same time, though, these are the same people who would also be preaching at you about public health the way they do today with the current situation. But back to Kyle. Okay. Kyle's been telling everyone that you got to hold your nose, you got to vote for the Democrats, you got to hold your nose and just dive into this, you know, sewage cesspool of a party because it's better than the other sewage cesspool that is the Republican Party. So just hold your nose and go along with it. Okay. He just put a video out yesterday, day before last, whatever. Scathing message about the Democrats' terrible strategy going forward and how they're saying we need to emulate Joe Biden because Joe Biden's popular. But then as he promptly points out, Biden's poll numbers are going down. Kamala Harris's poll numbers have been down. Reports just come out and said she is potentially the least popular vice president this far in since like the 1970s. In other words, I think she's even beating Mike Pence right now in popularity or unpopularity this far into a presidency. And that really isn't a surprise. I could have saw that coming from a mile away. So he's angry and he's griping at the Democrat Party basically and telling everyone, look, Democrats, why don't you do more popular stuff? Why don't you brag about the things that you've done that were good and do more things that were good? Who do you think you're talking to, man? You're talking to a party that is corrupt. There's a reason they don't do these great things. Like, if all they cared about was winning elections, like you think, which they do care about, but if that's the only thing that they cared about, of course they'd be trying to do more popular things that go over with the American people. Here's your problem. That ain't what they care about. What they care about are what the donors want. The donors don't necessarily, or hardly ever sometimes, want what's best for the American people. Now, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir at this point, but that should be pretty fucking obvious at this point in time. So it amazes me when Kyle comes out and bitches and bitches and bitches and bitches about the Democrat Party and how lousy and terrible they are. Yet every election cycle, he props them quasi up somehow or another, where it's like, well, yeah, they suck, but push them to the left, guys. How the fuck's that working out for you? Last I checked, this push them to the left, you're currently bitching about the fact that they're not going left at all, actually going more right. Jimmy Dore made a good point of this. He keeps talking about something that Lawrence O'Donnell said. Until you're willing to withhold your vote from the Democrat Party, they don't have to listen to you. They can keep throwing you these little fucking crumbs, and because you don't like the Republicans and don't think third parties have a chance, you'll go out and vote for them if you're someone like Kyle Kalinski or Marianne Williamson. And there you go. So a lot of people are losing faith in this Democrat Party. You say you want to do more good things. Understand, this is the party that ran on $2,000 checks, didn't give them. This is the party that ran on upping the minimum wage. Whether you agree with that or not, they ran on it, and they didn't do it. Even the squad, we're going to keep our powder dry for the fight for 15. Well, the fight for 15 came, and they didn't break out the real guns. They broke out the fucking water pistols and did shit. Period. They did nothing. Okay? So they didn't keep their powder dry for a damn thing when it came to that fight either. So they sold their voters out on that. Infrastructure. Well, there might be some kind of an infrastructure deal, but it ain't going to be very much of one. It's already being cut down, watered down. So what do you expect, Kyle? That this has been what the Democrats do. You wonder why Nina Turner lost? It's probably because there's a lot of people who just don't trust the Democrat Party. And therefore, I don't care who you are. If you're running on that platform, they're probably skeptical of you too. The Democrat Party is severely, severely losing trust with people. And you know what makes that even worse? Now let's turn to New York, because this story gets to go all over the fucking country today. That's the thing about this, man. This thing is going all over the place. Okay. And before I switch, I see Desert Mantis. The infrastructure deal is getting smaller and smaller because of the Democrats. Yeah, absolutely right. Thanks to people like, guess who? Joe Manchin. You want to talk about someone keeping their fucking powder dry? Either this dude's got an endless supply of powder, or he's got the secret to keep his powder dry as much as he fucking wants. It seems like he can buck every damn thing possible that they want to do to kind of side with the Republicans, and that doesn't seem to wet his fucking powder one damn bit now, does it? So for the squad to have made that argument, bullshit. Just complete bullshit. Okay? So again, now let's turn to New York. Why are people skeptical of the Democrat Party? I don't know. Maybe because, number one, mainstream media seems to be in love with the Democrat Party. And who was the mainstream media shoving down our throats, aside from people like Biden and Kamala and all that shit? When Kamala's ship sank, and it was questionable if the HMS Joe Biden, or USS Biden, or what the hell ever you want to call it, was ever going to be able to float in the water any damn way. Who did mainstream media shove at us like a suitable replacement? Who did they say could do a potential good job if only he would run for president? He was like the only prominent figure in New York that didn't try to run. We had fucking Bill de Blasio run. I mean, we had all these damn people from New York run. Even some that they changed the rules for when they finally decided to run. Like Bloomberg. But this guy didn't run. And oh boy, did they want him to. There was even talk about how he might sweep in at the convention and take everything. Who the hell am I talking about? I'm talking about Fredo's older brother, Andrew Cuomo. Oh boy. What? Now, I'll be going on with my good buddy David Spurrier tomorrow because he wanted to talk about this issue. But I'm going to go ahead and touch on it just a little bit now, just because there's plenty to talk about with this one, okay? So if you don't know what's going on with Andrew Cuomo, Cuomo finally has his past deeds catching up to him. So remember, this is the same guy when the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing was going down. Told told the reporters in the press, I want Brett Kavanaugh to take a lie detector test about his accusations that's come out against him for rape and uh, inappropriate touching and sexual harassment, et cetera, et cetera. He wanted people to take a lie detector test. This dude ain't touch, ain't touch, hasn't taken a lie detector test yet, to my knowledge. Okay. Um, and basically, you've got an attorney general report coming out now saying he's guilty of these things. So Andrew Cuomo, he comes out and he says that, look, I've been kissing people for years, and he takes this typical argument like, look, I'm an Italian. What do you expect? That's a cultural thing for us. We kiss on the cheek. We pinch the cheeks. We grab the face. We hold the hands. Okay. But the problem is, dude, that's that's the little shit you've been accused of. I'd be willing to give you that one. I mean, I've met people who do that. I'll give you that one. You know what I've never met? I've met some old Italian people, and not one of them ever walks up to a lady. Hey, how you doing today, ma'am? How you doing today? Let me feel your titty there, honey. Not a fucking one. None of them. Not fucking one. Reach up under women's shirts and grope their tits. That ain't customary for no one but a fucking pervert, son. And you don't really give much of an explanation on that shit other than, oh, they're just lying. So wait a minute. Every fucking thing else that was the little shit was true, but none of the important stuff is. And some of it come from the same people. Now, you could be saying they're exaggerating or whatever, but groping was just where it stops. We're talking about inappropriate comments, asking staffers, would you ever cheat on your husband? Oh, you're 25? I'd date as young as 22. I'm a 60-year-old man. I'm feeling lonely and I need to be touched. Oh, God. And what's something that the Democrat Party also has in common? Joe Biden, Tara Reid, Al Franken and his pictures, Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, Andrew Cuomo, all of this shit, Hunter Biden and all of his leak crap. Oh, and, how can we forget Anthony Weiner? Am I the only one seeing a pattern here with this shit? So once again, you want to know why Nina Turner supposedly lost? You ran on this fucking party's platform. People are losing trust with that party. I don't care if you run as an outsider or not. They've already seen outsiders get elected to office. And understand, Nina, who are you playing to? You're not going to be playing to the centrist Democrat. You're not going to be playing to the Republican. Nina, you wanted help from Cornel West, the squad, Bernie Sanders. So you're obviously playing to the left wing. And the left wing is not happy with the Democrat Party. And they were slowly starting to question you too. They don't trust the Democrat Party anymore. I don't care what your intention was. They've seen the outsiders come into power before, and they've been fucked over by them. AOC said you could have one term, but as long as what you did meant something, that's fine. Until she got into office and figured out, no, being a career politician is way fucking better. And that's what she's done. Simply what she's done. Okay. Read a couple of chats here before I move on. Desert Mantis, don't call Chris Fredo, Charles. It gives him a migraine. Yeah, and honestly, I'm starting to wonder who was who was really Fredo in that situation, because I don't know if Chris is that desperate or not, but seems like his brother certainly is. Anthony Reyes, Me Too stopped counting as soon as the Democrat presidential nominee is Trump. Yeah, of course. Tom saying, this mess with Nina, how can, with just 56% vote is a win, like Bernie in Ohio, why don't they ever fight this? I'm afraid third parties, I'm afraid third party due to a fraud election. So yeah, I believe there's problems with the election system, and honestly, that's probably going to take a grassroots kind of issue from the ground up to go about fixing it. But I mean, look, I would like to see third parties win. I'm still going to try to vote for third parties, do what I can to spread their message around. But I'm not sold on the fact that it's going to work at this point either. Okay. Anthony Reyes, I'll give Nina credit for telling me ahead of time she was going to play ball with the creepers in the Democrat Party. Well, at least she's being fucking honest, right? Desert Mantis, I voted D once in the past 30 years. I guess if you count me voting for Tulsi Gabbard, I have too, but that's the only time. And as far as a general election was concerned, never have. All right, so moving on now. And Holly Horn chimes in. Hi, Charles. How you doing today, Holly? So we got the old Andrew Cuomo situation again. You want to know why someone like Nina Turner, the outsider, loses in the Democrat Party? Number one, it's because there is a lot of corrupt money. But then number two, more and more people, especially the base she's trying to play to, is not trusting the party. We've established that. Okay. You got people like Kyle who seem to be continuously upset that the Democrat Party isn't doing shit that they should be doing. Meanwhile, you've got the Andrew Cuomo situation going on, and the Democrats not doing what they said they would do. I don't know, is only like par for the course for the last at least 20 fucking years. So now we turn to the people who are supposed to be our allies in the Democrat Party because they're the ones who are supposed to be doing such great fucking things, right? The squad. Okay. So before we get too deep into the squad, understand who is propping up the Democrat Party and people like the squad. What kind of, aside from mainstream media, what kind of people are really trying to prop this group up? Out of the YouTube scene, you've got what Jimmy Dore loves to call the Shit Libs. And that's a pretty good list of people. But of course, at the top of that list, at the top of Mount Shit Libdom, would be TYT. They reign at the top. Their castle's at the top of the mountain. Okay. And it's a nasty fucking mountain. But of course, Anna Casparian being the queen of Mount Shit Libdom, now she has to come out and give her fucking take on what's been going on. So there were some people, before I touch completely on Cori Bush, who were at this whole rent moratorium thing right there on the front lines. Now, you had people like Cori Bush show up to protest for this. You had other members of the squad show up to do their part and make change and progress. But then you had other people who really been wanting some change and progress, who live the everyday working man's life, basically. And they're out there trying to do their part. So again, you want to know why people don't trust the Democrat Party? When you've got people like Anna Casparian being the one to prop you up, whew, I don't know that I would trust you either. Let's examine what Anna Casparian is known for. Gaslighting, editing things in a way to be deceptive, Russiagate. Oh, or maybe trying to blackmail Jimmy Dore to shut the fuck up, or I'm going to try to Me Too your ass. Anna Casparian is known for doing all kinds of shit, not most of it being honest. Okay? So, again, if that's who's propping you up, I don't know that I'm going to look at you and say, I think you got my best interest in mind. I don't think I would agree with that either if I were a voter. And I am a voter, and I don't agree with it. But obviously, I follow things closer than some. Okay. But that's what she does. So, who was on the front lines pushing back on people like Cory Bush and the squad who showed up? Who was pushing back on them? Max Blumenthal, Frank Analysis, good buddy Franco. Franco, son, you've done something in life. You've made it to TYT. Not as a part of their network, but as a part of the people they want to talk shit about. I think everyone watching right now, we need to give a hand to Franco. I see Anthony Reyes, Colin was there too. Let's give a hand to all these folks because they have finally been recognized by the dirty old bastard in the fucking equation TYT. And that's really saying something. So Franco pushes back. Now, what's Franco pushing back on? Some people look at that and say, wait a minute, they're protesting for the same thing you are, right? Like they want the rent moratorium to be extended. The government did not take care of people properly when they put them under all these lockdowns, which led to this shit you've got today. You know, they didn't do a UBI like Canada or Australia or whatever, right? Like they just told everyone close the fuck up and go out of business. And that put people behind on their rent. So is it fair now that the government intervened in a way that fucked everyone up to continue to allow them to be fucked up? Like it's not really fair, right? So people are like, wait a minute, she's there trying to protest for the same thing. Why are you pissed at her? Okay. If she's there for the same thing I'm there for, I'll recognize and give her credit, or whoever was there credit, that they're out there trying to do something good now. We'll just play the devil's advocate. We'll let that one go. But if I give a shit about you keeping your word and I follow politics, I'm still going to hold you accountable for all the rest of the shit you said you would do, but did not do. What am I talking about? You want Medicare for all, but you don't want to fight for the motherfucker. You said you wanted a higher minimum wage, but you don't want to fight for the motherfucker. What good are you? What good are you? I mean, honestly, if that's your fucking take is, I want you to vote for me. I want you to donate to me. I want you to help me get elected so I can go in there and do all these fucking things. And then you get into office and do none of it. None of it. You kept your powder dry to sleep on the fucking Capitol steps. That's what you kept your powder dry for. And you didn't extend the shit indefinitely, which, by the way, I don't think it should be extended indefinitely. I don't think that's necessary. Why don't we pass something that back pays everyone who was late on their rent because of this shit? Why don't you catch everyone the fuck up? And then you got to worry about this shit no fucking more if we're going to reopen the country, which, by the way, probably isn't going to happen now because Delta variant. Mask back up, and we're going back into hiding once again, folks. It'll be a long, cold winter. Stay indoors. That's what the fuck we're heading for. Okay? So perhaps it should be extended still. But when we're ready to move on, the answer should be catch everyone who fell behind up because you didn't do what you fucking were supposed to do in the first place, which is take care of your own citizens during a pandemic. I mean, that's a fucking no-brainer. But you kept your powder dry for that. Nothing else. So again, you were elected to fight. You got elected, chose not to fight. So what good are you? As far as I'm concerned, you're about as useful as a nipple on the end of my big toe. What the fuck is the purpose? I don't see where you have any use. You were elected to do a list of things and you've chose to not do any fucking thing. But what's even better were all the people like Anna Casparian and some of these other guys that were trying to push back at Franco when he said that they voted for more war. Anna Casparian has to, of course, go literal with this. They never voted for more war. And whoever that fucking little redheaded troglodyte was that kept arguing with fucking Franco, you know what the fuck you're talking about, man? Look, I rode my bicycle over here today. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You go read a fucking book, man. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. The fuck? Really? They haven't voted for the shit. Okay. Technically speaking, have they voted on something that says we're going to war somewhere else? No, they have not said that. But what they have done is they have voted for these budgets that include more money for the fucking war machine. Wow, that's a fucking difference. Whoo boy. You put more money in the pocket of the war machine, which, by the way, is contemplating overthrowing Cuba militarily, doesn't want to withdraw from Afghanistan. You know, things are getting worse there again. We might end up having to stay. You might as well be fucking voting for more war when you voted for a fucking bill that said we're going to up the military's budget again. What did you think was going to come from that? That the Pentagon was just going to get a fucking raise with it? No, it goes into war. Has the last 20, 30 years not taught you a motherfucking thing? When they want more money, they got one goal in mind: drop bombs and blow up asses. What did you think you were going to get with that deal? I mean, when a redneck in South Carolina knows what comes with that deal, you educated politicians should damn sure know what's coming with that deal. And if you didn't, you ain't got no business being an elected leader of any damn one. Period. I wouldn't elect you to be the town dog catcher if you couldn't figure out voting for that bill came with more fucking war. But Anna Casparian attacks these guys. Like, why are you holding people accountable? So, Anna, you know, I think Yelbro did a good job at breaking this shit down. What's your fucking logic? What's the logic for you, Anna, that we only should praise people when they're doing something? You're like, I'll agree with you on that. Yeah, when they're doing something good, even if I don't like the person, if they do something that is right, I'll give them credit on that. But if they've been doing 10 fucked up things, when I get the opportunity to say something to them, I'm going to criticize them on those 10 fucked up things and tell them you need to be doing better. So TYT doing typical TYT shit, talking about, oh, this little extension on the rent moratorium, it's so fucking great. So you should not criticize anyone who was involved in trying to help it. Wow. And you wonder why the Democrat Party doesn't listen to your progressive ideas. Because they don't fucking have to. Lawrence O'Donnell said it best. You're not willing to withhold your vote from them. And until you get to that point, and until you are, they don't have to listen to you, and they're not going to listen to you. You know why? Who the fuck's your alternative? You don't like third parties. You don't think third parties are ever going to work. And you damn sure ain't going to vote Republican. So either you're going to stay at home, in which case low voter turnout typically results in Republican presidents and Republican elected officials. Oh, and you don't want that. No. You can't have that. Republicans, terrible idea. So you'll come out and vote for the Democrat, like you always do, and like you always tell everyone else to fucking do. And then they say, so we don't need to give you shit because you don't know how to leverage a fucking thing. Like, you want to know what would make a potential difference? If you don't go vote for a shitty Democrat anyway, you're going to get a Republican president. So why not just let the fucking Republican beat the fucking socks off a corporate Democrat. And I don't mean like Trump with Clinton. No, 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 no. Fuck that. Beat the fucking socks off of them like Nixon beat McGovern. 49 state clean sweep. The motherfucker, I think, McGovern only won like Massachusetts and Washington, D.C. For those who don't remember, I'm pretty sure the numbers were like 17 to 520 on the Electoral College. Beat the fucking socks off of them. The Republicans going to get elected anyway if the Democrats become that fucking shitty. That's how you send a message to them. You're going to have to deal with 4 years of a fucking Republican anyway. It's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen if you can't make a third party successful. So instead of making it look like the corporate shitty Democrat actually stood somewhat of a chance to win, no, let them get beat like a fucking bitch. Period. Beat the fucking socks off of them. Knock their ass out like Ali did to name your fucking victim. Okay. But in particular, I'll go with Sonny Liston. That classic picture with him taking that fucking swing while Liston's on the ground. Let him just beat him that fucking bad. Show them you're not willing to vote for him. If Nixon McGovern doesn't work for you, fine. Go with Reagan and Mondale. Beat them that fucking bad, and you're going to send a message to them. We're not voting for that shit any fucking more. So, that being said, if you're not willing to withhold your vote, you're going to get no change out of it. So now let's finally get around to the whole Cori Bush thing. So again, you got people like my buddy Franco, you've got Colin, you've got Max Blumenthal. They're all out there. They're protesting. They're pushing back at people like Cori Bush and the squad. Okay. Flat out, Cori Bush and all these squad people, where have they been all this time? Where the fuck have they been? Seriously. They knew shit like this could be coming. I know Biden just announced it was going to end, but they had an idea it was going to be ending anyway. There was like a timeline on this whole thing, right? And he had been calling for an extension. So where the fuck have you been? I mean, the country's problems didn't go away. You were supposedly keeping your powder dry, even though, y'all need to talk to Joe Manchin and figure out how that motherfucker keeps his powder dry. He's got the secret, man. Because if you've got to keep your powder dry in politics, which by the way, Anna Casparian again tried to shit on the whole force the vote thing and say that the squad was keeping their powder dry for all these other fights and for committee seats. Oh, they were keeping their powder dry for committee assignments, committee seats. How the fuck that work out for AOC, by the way? Tell me what committee she got. Oh, she didn't gain a new seat, and she lost her old one. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's fucking working wonders, isn't it? Oh, wow. Keep your powder dry for the committee assignments, and you still got shit out of that deal. Yeah, you need to talk to Joe Manchin. I don't like Joe Manchin. I don't think the left likes Joe Manchin by any stretch of the imagination. Unless, of course, you're Elizabeth Warren, and then you can make, good faith, spirited defenses for Joe Manchin. But y'all need to take a lesson from this guy because he clearly knows how to keep his powder dry, and you don't. And even when you do, you don't know how to light that motherfucker up so it goes pow. Like, what the fuck how do you think gunpowder works? Piss on it and it explodes? Like, even if you kept your powder dry, you don't know what the fuck to do with it when you kept it dry. So, yeah, y'all need to talk to that man. But back to Cori Bush. So again, where has the squad been? They've been absent, they've been silent, they've been nowhere to be fucking found. And again, you got people like Anna Casparian saying you can't criticize. So I'm just going to tell you, I'll do my own research. I'll do my own investigation. I'm an independent guy. I'm a free thinker, and I'll draw my own conclusion. But if Anna Casparian says I shouldn't criticize you, kind of makes me want to criticize you. Like there's something there. I'm like, if she thinks you're good, you're probably not that fucking good, because she certainly isn't that fucking good. It's kind of like that whole thing, birds of a feather type thing, right? So if she thinks you're great, I'll be like, I need to look at you, because if she likes you, that's a red flag. That's my opinion on that. But I would obviously do my investigation before I just started criticizing. I wouldn't say, "Oh, Casparian likes him. I got to criticize him." I would look into it, but it would make me curious enough to look into that person potentially, right? So that being said, Cori Bush voted for Pelosi, wasn't willing to withhold her vote. So she followed in the squad's footsteps, do nothing and get nothing. Fight for the 15. Well, who the fuck needs that? Who needs that shit, right? And of course now, rent moratorium, but only an extension, a 60-day extension, which, by the fucking way, I already saw people like Anthony back in the chat here said he would not go back into lockdown. I certainly don't fucking want to either. But if they push us back into this, hermit kingdom hole over here where you've got to stay in your house and Netflix and chill, okay? If they push us into this shit or try to force us back into this shit, again, how long did the pandemic take last time around? Like, I mean, technically they say it's never ended, right? But how long did the last set of lockdowns take? Like, when did businesses start really opening back up? So, what the fuck do you expect? 60 days ain't gonna be shit if we go back to where we were in like February, March, April 2020. I mean, if it gets back to that point, 60 days ain't gonna be shit. That ain't nothing. So, yeah, 60 days. Woohoo! You got a fucking not a damn thing done with that shit. Because again, if they try to push us down that road of no, you got to go back into hiding, that's going to take longer, in my opinion. I think the last time showed us that, but whatever. I see Shadowban Refugee. I will not make it known that they will not succeed. I certainly hope they don't fucking succeed. I ain't gonna willingly just sit there and go along with it. I'll put it to you that fucking way. I didn't actually have to quarantine last time around. My job actually kept me working the whole fucking time, and I never actually caught COVID. I've said before, if I caught COVID, it was before we knew what COVID was, and it was in like 2019. And I got real fucking sick that year. But back to Cori Bush. We'll come back to that when I start reading all the chats and stuff like that. So where has she been? She's been nowhere to be found. So you get Franco to come out and call her out. You got Anna Casparian attacking the people like Franco and Max Blumenthal and the others who call her the fuck out. And here's the deal. Then there's this little clip that's going around on Twitter right now where Cori Bush is explaining to the viewers why she will have personal security. I'm going to be protected. I've had attempts on my life, and I'm not going to let that happen. If I got to spend, what was it, $2,000 or $200,000 on security or $10 more, I'm going to do it because I've got work to do. Okay. Bravo, kudos. You don't want to die. I can sympathize with that. You don't want to die. You need protection. You need protection. January 6th was scarring, wasn't it, Corey? It gave you PTSD probably, right? And like AOC, it's violence, and hell, even Ted Cruz's tweets, they could be violent to you, right? So you need protection. Okay. Your Second Amendment says you can have a firearm, that you can use a gun to protect yourself, defend your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay, Corey. That's your American right. You can hire security. You can even pack a Glock 9 yourself if you want. That's fine. That is your civil right. But then in that same video, we've got to defund the police. That has to happen. Whew. Okay, so all cops are bad until they work for you. Again, why do people not trust the Democrats? And look, I know there's probably going to be a lot of viewers that are watching my show right now who do support the thing of defund the police. I've given my take. I certainly support there needs to be massive reforms. I just don't think necessarily defunding is what does that. That's like saying that the education system needs to be reformed, so let's pull some money out of it. It's a broken system. You've got to rebuild the actual fucking system. Period. And I don't think just starving it of money is going to do anything. You know what starving it of money is going to do? It's going to make what few cops are left. The department will literally say, okay, let's give them a taste of their own fucking medicine. Let's let crime go up. No, don't fuck with them. Don't touch them. Let the inmates run the asylum. Let crime levels spike. And then people are going to go, oh my God, what did we do? And we've already heard those fucking talking points, right? I mean, I saw that shit coming last fucking year. That's why I told everyone, I'm like, that ain't going to end very well. And now, of course, as you see, whether you agree with this or not, the popularity of defund the police, yeah, it's going down. It's going down. Again, you can add your nuanced argument to it, but the numbers reflect exactly what I said was going to happen with that. I think the system needs to be reformed. I think necessarily the issue isn't how much money they're getting, it's how the money's being spent. No different than, how much money our education system is getting, but how's it being spent type of thing, right? I've made that argument on many different issues. The issue isn't always how much money you're pumping in, it's how you're using the money once it's pumped in. And that's the big part of the problem. It's not being used effectively. It's not actually being used to provide proper training to law enforcement. It's being used to give them more fucking toys with less training because they used all the money on their fucking toys. Oh, better guns, bigger rounds, more military type shit, night vision, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, again, I'm giving on that, but there's a clear hypocrisy there. And for the average American, when defund the police popularity is already going downhill, when they hear the quote unquote progressive fighter over here, oh, I just got your rent moratorium extended. And then they tell you, yeah, I'm going to have people with guns protecting me, but I want fewer of them out there to protect you, which you can say, well, that ain't what cops really do. And I would agree. You need to protect yourself. You call cops after the fact. You don't call, like, if someone broke into your home. Now, I suppose if you don't have a firearm, you would probably try to do this. If someone broke into my house, I'm not going to try to hide in my bathtub and call the cops. Please hurry up and get here because they're about to kill me. No, that motherfucker's going to die from lead poisoning quick if you break into my house. Okay. And so that's what a lot of people would do. But a lot of people don't trust owning a gun, don't want to have a gun in their home. And so they would try to call the cops flat out. So again, let's defund the police, but keep all these armed motherfuckers around me because I need it. Hypocrisy. And again, you want to know why Nina Turner lost? She's running with a group of people who are doing this type of shit. And it does not convey very much trust at all. At all. You know what makes things even more suspicious about people like Cori Bush? Why don't we throw in the fact that while she's there to be a servant to the people, while she's there to make a statement, while she's there to mingle with the people, she'll talk to the people. You could only talk to her about what her and her associates deemed you could talk to her about. No, look, if you wanted to ask her something highly inappropriate, I could see where someone would step in and say, no, you're not going to do that. Like if someone wanted to walk up to her and say, hey, Corey, why don't we go sneak off behind the Capitol building back here, honey? You know, let me get in them jeans one good time. Look, I could perfectly understand why someone would sit there and say, no, fuck that, you fucking creep. You're not going to talk to her that fucking way. Completely understand. Okay. But who the fuck was doing that? I haven't seen nobody doing that. No, you know what people did? People like Max Blumenthal, people like Franco from Frankanalysis. You know what they did? They actually went and pressed her on why she was keeping her powder dry through the first few fights. Why you didn't support force to vote. Why you wouldn't fight for a higher minimum wage or any of these other things. Like, this is what your base voted for you to do, and you simply did not do it. So I, as a progressive voter, now want to ask you why. Okay. And what was her response? First of all, she wouldn't give much of a response. What did she say to Max Blumenthal on Force the Vote? She said that it wasn't our bill, so we couldn't do anything about it. What? Do you not understand what the fuck your job consists of? You could leverage Nancy Pelosi to bring that bill, even if it ain't your bill, to a floor vote. That's what they wanted you to do. That was the shittiest damn answer I've ever even heard. Hell, even Kyle Kalinski, one of her, fucking flag waving supporters back here, had to say, oh, yeah, that was a terrible fucking answer. But the minute you keep pressing her, her aide steps in. Nope. Can't do anything. Nope. So flat out, she lied. She got caught, and as soon as she got pressed on getting caught in the lie, then the aide stepped in and cut her off. Frankanalysis tries to question her on it, cut it off. So I'm here to protest, but the other people who are really pushing for change can only ask me about what I deem policy-wise, you can ask me about. If it's anything outside of that, I'm sorry, you'll need to schedule an appointment with my office. Some old typical status quo shit. It's amazing how many of these outsiders get elected to office and become literally the fucking status quo. It's been happening for a long time. It's going to continue to happen today, by the way. Right? So, again, you want to know why Nia Turner lost? You thought you would be trusted associating with this bunch. You should have fucking known better. You should have known better. People don't trust the Democrat Party right now. Flat out. So you're going to probably lose. You're going to have a hard time pulling in those people who really want to change. And for the people like Anna Casparian or, fucking, what the hell's that damn guy? Oh, fuck. I feel like his first name is Ryan Grimm or whatever from The Intercept, that want to take time out of their day to attack people like Franco, Max Blumenthal, and others, which I said on Twitter. I said, I guess Ryan Grimm finally got fucking tired of getting his ass reamed a new one by Jimmy Dore. So now he thinks he wants to take shots at smaller channels because maybe I might be able to burn him as bad, right? I said on Twitter, must be nice to be so well off that your priority is to shit on small YouTube channels who are actually pushing for real change. Must be fucking wonderful to live in that world. I damn sure don't live there. My guess is most of y'all don't either. That's why we live in the normal, lower class, middle class American world, working 9 to 5s or 5 to 1s or 1 to 9s, whatever they consist of. So, I mean, honestly, what do you do? What do you do until these people are ready to stop supporting these Democrat fucking swamp cesspool creatures? You ain't gonna get shit. You're not gonna get anything. Lawrence O'Donnell said it best, right? As Jimmy Dore's been pointing out. I mean, it's terrible. So let's turn to some chats here while we wrap this up. Let's see. I've got quite a few to catch up on here. They've been really rolling in lately. So let's see. Anthony Reyes, people still owe the money. They just pushed it back a few months. No way I'm going back into lockdown. So, yeah, like I said earlier, this is why when the pandemic is finally over, the best thing the government can do instead of just extending the moratorium indefinitely, because people aren't going to be able to catch it up. I mean, that's just a fact. That shit done got so far out of control. It's like college debt at this point, right? You might as well just pay the fucking shit off and start from a clean slate because it'll be the easiest fucking thing to do. And it for those who say, oh, it's more spending, it'll cause inflation and blah. Okay, understand this. You're either going to have an economy crisis one of two ways. Either a lot of people are going to be put out of their homes, which means they're probably going to lose their jobs. You'll have a homeless spike, which will then affect the economy because you'll have less consumers in the market to buy goods and products and whatever, and your fucking economy is going to suffer as a result of that. Or you can have some inflation. Take your fucking pick because you're going to get shit on in the economy either fucking way. For the conservatives out there who don't think that spending is going to be the answer, you're going to get fucked over either fucking way. Just saying. Okay. Let's see. Anthony Reyes, bro, that dude works for Lee Camp that was on the bike. I think I read about that shit somewhere, but I don't know who he was or who he worked for, but guy was about a whole jackass in my opinion. Well, I mean, that fits. He's supporting the Democrat Party, and that party is nothing but jackass shit at this point, any fucking way, which is promptly fitting. Their party animal's been the donkey or the jackass for a long fucking time. And every time they get into office, they take a big fat shit on the American people. So, guess it works. Let's see. Anthony Reyes, but Charles, the problem is now that they can make it seem like more people are voting than they actually are. And then Shadowban Refugee right behind that. Elections are privately owned and their voting machines are proprietary. Your elections mean nothing. Well, yeah, I'm slowly getting there, honestly. I still think there's a chance if the people do things the right way, but I I I don't have faith that the people are going to be able to unite and have enough common sense to do it. And I can try to do my part, but with YouTube censorship, that's going to be hard to do. They don't want people like me or others getting our voices out there trying to help people understand that you need to start doing things a little bit differently. So if we can't make much of a dent, then yeah, it's probably it's probably going to happen in the street if we ever get this change, like most revolutions have in history. Um, and I hate it. Probably will come to that, but it's slowly looking like that's what's gonna be the case at some point in time. Shadowban Refugee, no. Cori Bush is vice chair for the Committee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security. She is doing exactly as she is told. Yeah, very, very obviously, she's doing that. So, Shadowban Refugee, just don't do what they tell you and don't pay their fines. Well, here's going to be the issue for that. If you're willing to take that step and you want to do that to make a statement, I would say go for it. The problem is when you don't start paying their fines, just like if we don't pay our taxes, unless of course you're someone like Al Sharpton and you can get away with that, they're going to put you in jail. Now, if you've got certain jobs, mine would be one of them. You get arrested, there goes your job because they run frequent background checks on you. So you go to jail, you're done. So then you could be put out of your house, home. So there's a problem there for a lot of people, and that is holding people back from doing things of that nature because they live afraid, like I can't afford to go to jail right now over something like that. So that's a just do it and be done with it, right? Like, is it really worth it for me? But I'll say this: if that doesn't affect you and you want to make a statement, absolutely go for it. I'm not going to encourage anyone though to risk putting their own life and health and well-being and financial stability on the line, because at the end of the day, what really is the most important for a lot of people is providing for their family and their own household. That's what it comes down to for a lot of people at the end of the day. And if anyone wants to disagree with that, just think about at the end of it, what influences what things you care about the most. It's probably the things that impact you personally, right? So that there you go. Let's see. I see you. I don't know if you were trying to, basically imitate a siren sound or whatever there, but Shadowban Refugee, I see you. What we got going on in the chat here, folks? Looks like we got some penile waving going on in the chats or whatever over here. Hey, look, this isn't TYT. We don't want nudity on the show. Okay. For those who are seeing the chat, you can't go to the lonewolfpodcast.com and see the uncensored photo, just so you know. Okay. Anthony Reyes, Corey had some Zionists protecting. Oh yeah, I could easily see that being the case. She strikes me like the type she would love to hire some people who were trained by the Israeli military or some shit. Again, just a clear hypocrisy. You want people with guns to protect you, but no, everybody else don't need that shit. The little people don't need that shit, right, Corey? Okay. Which, by the way, I meant to make this point earlier. Corey Bush. Is anyone surprised at how much sense Corey Bush does not make? Like, am I the only one? I remember when Kyle Kalinski went on Fox News to debate this guy, Chris DeGaulle or some shit like that, and they played this edited clip where they were pushing Corey Bush on taxes and what should it be? What should the tax rate be? Corey, you think we should have higher taxes? What would that number look like? It was the worst fucking answer. Worst fucking answer. And instead of just saying, I have the plan in place, you'll see when it comes out, or whatever, if you didn't have an answer on hand, instead of trying to sound somewhat intelligent about it or play it off smart, she just shit some fucking answer out of her ass that was fucking nuts. Well, we'll just go with this number or whatever. And you could tell the Fox people, this Chris DeGaulle guy was like, oh, wow, this is great. Like, what a idiot. And if you remember, she didn't win that election, by the way. It took the next time around for her to finally win. But you had people like Kyle Kalinski. I want more people like at the Democrat Party. Well, buddy, you fucking got them. Now, how's it working out for you? Because it doesn't look like it's going that fucking great to me. Let's see. Shadowban Refugee. That bill is locked in the committee she is vice chair of. I see you. Some get Bush a manual for her job. Yeah, she definitely needs an instruction packet for sure, because she didn't read them when she opened that little present, did she? Shadowban Refugee Kyle Kuklinski. Yeah, speaking of which, you know who I didn't fucking add to this conversation? I should, so I might as well take the time now. Bernie Sanders. Good old fucking Uncle Bernie. Speaking of Kyle Kuklinski and Bernie Sanders, I put this out on Twitter and I was kind of honored. I finally got a tweet that was liked by Jimmy Dore. Never had that before to my knowledge. So, who knows? Maybe I'm making progress. Maybe one of these days I can get Jimmy Dore on my show and we can have a conversation. How interesting would that be if that ever happened, right? But Kyle Kalinski starts a whole new fucking podcast this year. Crystal Kyle and Friends. And he gets on Bernie Sanders. Now, if there's been one man who has been 5 feet up Bernie Sanders' ass, it'd be Kyle Kalinski. Now, he's giving him some mild, and oh boy, do I mean mild, criticisms over the past, But overall, oh boy, he is Bernie Sanders' booty, son. Bernie Sanders comes on a show he is the co-host of, and then only agrees to come on the show if Kyle's not part of it. And he agreed. He fucking agreed. What? Like, if that were me and Bernie Sanders came and said, so Charles, I agree to come on your show, but you can be the host. Let's find a Subaru replacement. Maybe someone like, I don't know, but they gotta be more liberal, and it can't be you. You can't get maybe someone like Vosh. Put Vosh on. You let him host the Lone Wolf podcast. I'll come on your show. I would have said, fuck you, and take your old ass back to Vermont, and you're not welcome on my fucking show if that's how you feel. So yeah, watched Kyle for a long time, but whoo, what a beta male, beta. For those of you who know that reference, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Shout out to the crazy lunatic Jesse Lee Peterson. Like I said, if you know, you know. If you don't, I would go check out those videos. You might not like what the guys say. I don't like what the fuck he says, but they're entertaining. Lawrence Johnson, aloha, everyone. How you doing today, Lawrence? I see you, Anthony. Did you see her staff that stopped the questions? He looked like a nerdy Andre the Giant. Anthony Reyes, he was like 6'6" ICU. Yeah, he wouldn't quite be an Andre the Giant because I'm about 6'4", and Andre the Giant would still stand a hefty bit over me. Chad Ben Refugee, Charles is like 6'9". Oh Lord, no, whoa, no, not that fucking tall. Good God, I already look. Hey, don't make me no taller. I'm already tall enough that I'm getting neck and back problems because I'm having to do this shit when I'm looking at things all the fucking time. I have to duck through certain doors. My feet are already damn near at the end of my fucking bed. Please. I'm tall enough, guys. I don't need any more fucking height. Basketball is not going to be a career of mine. I will pass. Someone else can have those other 5 inches. Keep your mind out of the fucking gutter. We ain't going there. Let's see. Holly Horn, AOC wants to be Pelosi. If I'm not mistaken, I actually put something like that out on Twitter last year because there was this thing going on about like AOC and a Run DMC or whatever. So I did like that whole reface thing as like AOC and Pelosi. Oh boy. Let's see what we got here before we wrap everything up, because I've still got a few more to read through here. Let's see. Lawrence Johnson. Ryan doesn't want anyone to find out that what that thing is growing on his head could be. Oh, good God. Let's see. Anthony Pause. Lawrence Johnson, who counts the votes also decides the elections. Yeah, absolutely. That's where they need to definitely keep a better eye on these poll watchers. And the fact checkers can say what they want, but there was definitely some sus shit in that last election. Uh, you know. So let's see. Trying to find some that are actually pertaining to something of substance here. I'm seeing some stuff about people blocking each other, which I ain't gonna read that. No offense, guys. That y'all can work that out amongst yourselves. Oh, let's see. Still getting through all this. Now we're back to more penile waving. God, people are having fun with themselves today, huh? Good lord. There's more penile comments coming through here than if this was a DX YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, if you watch WWF or WWE, D-Generation X. The only damn thing we need yet, the only thing, if people could post gifs in the chats, the only thing we need right now is the damn Shawn Michaels Triple H crotch shopping at this point, because that's what it's that's what we're going for. So let's see. Good God. More and more and more and more of it. I see you. Charles is going to read the chat and be like, what the fuck happened in here? No shit. No shit. Again, everyone, if you're reading these chats, the uncensored pictures will not be available at the lonewolfpodcast.com. We're not putting up the nudity over here. All right. Shadowban Refugee, pause. I see you, pause. Well, let me get this straight. Y'all gonna tell me to pause while y'all have been waving your peckers around in my chat section for the last 10 minutes. Come on now. Like Joe Biden. Come on, guys. Come on, give me a break. Shadowban Refugee, you said penile waving. I was glorifying your content. I know. I know. Like I said, we like to joke around over here on the show. So why not? Let's see. Anthony Reyes, Yo Charles, you don't like sweet chin music. It's my favorite fucking tune. It's my favorite fucking tune. So yeah. Low for full disclosure, this before, obviously, the GOAT, in my opinion, as far as wrestling was concerned, got the guy right over here on the wall. Hashtag dead man. But Shawn Michaels was good too. I actually had a math teacher in high school who loved Shawn Michaels' theme song. And if you're waiting on me to try and sing you a little bit of it, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Y'all can look that up. That's what you want to find or listen to. Anthony Reyes, Yo Charles, how about Nick Brana running for Franco? Yeah, that's another one. I focused on the Democrats today, and Nick Brana, I guess, is People's Party, but he which is basically just, in my opinion, gonna be Democrat 2.0. Honestly, it's what I see happening. They're kicking out the centers. If you agree with us, you're welcome. If you don't, fuck you and get out. Basically, right? They won't address the shit that's been going on with the petitioners. I've had them on my show. They won't say or do very much about that at all. They don't want to comment. So, yeah, Franco confronts Nick Brana, invites him to come on, and basically he does the same shit he's always done. So he's been asked, like, why won't you go on the Vanguard? He was asked that, and it was like, I think who was it asked him? Like Primo Radical, right? So he was like, oh, I would love to go on the Vanguard. But they never confirmed with me or whatever. Which I think is the same shit he told Franco. And woo boy, how quick did you know, the Vanguard shoot that shit down in a fucking hurry. The Vanguard, real quick, I was like, son, we keep receipts. Exhibit A, screenshot. You wanted to bring on a ass of guests. We said we wanted to hear from you about what the petitioners had to say, and you never responded. So it ain't our fault. That's on you. So yeah, Nick is doing what Nick has been doing, and this is why I've said for a while now, I don't trust Nick Brana. I think I get bad vibes off this dude. I get very sneaky snake oil salesman vibes from this guy. Honestly, I know Jimmy's bringing him on the show all the time, and I like Jimmy Dore. And I'm not saying this in the sense that I'm trying to talk per se shit about Jimmy Dore, but anybody can be fooled. And evidence of that, and I don't hold this against Jimmy Dore. I say, as long as you're willing to wake up when the evidence is clear, then I'll accept it. And Jimmy did, I think, have guts enough to do that when it became clear that the squad was the fraud squad. But for a while, he promoted them too. I think it's going to be a similar situation here, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, I don't trust Nick Brana, and I thought it was hilarious that Franco actually got a chance to have a face to face with all these people. It's a benefit of living right there in Washington D.C. and I give him credit for going out there on the front lines and doing what he did. So let's see. I see you. Pauses when you say something sexual and didn't mean it. Mean it to be like when you said we were having fun with ourselves in the chat. I know what the pause thing is. I'm just fucking with y'all. Yeah, look, y'all came in my chat talk about playing with yourselves, okay? I gotta have some fun with you guys back. I mean, you come in, you come in here to my chat to talk about playing with your old Willie down there. I'm gonna throw some stuff back at you when you do that. Okay. This is the Lone Wolf Podcast. We're uncensored over here. But again, you can't find the uncensored photos on the lonewolfpodcast.com, just to be clear. Let's see. I see you. Grimm will go for an interview, but Brana won't. Well, well, I mean, he got about the same amount of interview time with both of them, though, right? Like he talked to Nick Brana for a little bit, I thought, and he talked to Ryan Grimm a little bit, and both of them were just oh fuck, word salad, scrambled shit. It was no good. None of it, right? So, I think they were both about equally trash. Not on Franco's part. Shout out to, credit to Franco for trying to talk to him. It was trash on their part because they didn't say or contribute any fucking thing worth a damn. Punch Up. I'm gonna refer to you when you comment, by the way, as Punch Up. You've got a very, very, very long channel name, and that's a lot to say. So I'm just gonna refer to you as Punch Up, okay? Corey W. Bush. Right there. Right there. That comment's golden. And we ain't look, there's a lot more to this chat. But right there, that's fucking cold. Gold, man. Corey W. Bush has handlers. The Max interview was very telling. I think she is too stupid to know she has been co-opted the entire time. That or she should get the next Emmy after Fredo's brother. Oh God, how fucking true is that? Yeah, she definitely knows how to put on an act. She definitely knows how to put on an act. I think I actually put out a tweet on Twitter, something along those lines that said something like, if politics don't work out, she should try to go to Hollywood next because she's doing some phenomenal fucking acting. I mean, fuck for all we know, she could be, the 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 next Angelina Jolie of Hollywood, even though Angelina Jolie is, in my opinion, still a better actor. And I'd probably watch one of her movies way before I would watch a Corey Bush movie. Whatever. Anthony Reyes, punch up. That's one of the funniest comments I heard, but you're so right. Second the motion right here. That was fucking great. Shadowban Refugee, have you read into the infrastructure bill, Charles? So as I kind of said at the beginning, I haven't been able to make very much content lately. I've read a little, haven't read a ton, but I read enough to know that just like every fucking thing else, that shit's being watered down massively. Like every fucking thing, like, oh my God, the Democrats got to keep their powder dry. And we start here and we end up like here all the fucking time. All of the fucking time. Okay. So what the fuck do they keep their powder dry for? Now, to be fair, supposedly the squad is actually saying now we're going to use our muscle, we're going to use our power, we're going to use our leverage. And if you don't support this, we won't vote for this. Well, the master of keeping his powder dry, Joe Manchin, has had something to say about that. And he's just like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We might win some Republicans that can counter your asses any fucking way. So good luck keeping your powder dry for now, chicks. But next time, take a lesson from the master. I know how to keep my powder dry and use my leverage. You can learn something from this old crooked Virginian over here, or West Virginian, or wherever he's from. Hell, does it really fucking matter? He's from Wall Street. That's where he's from. Punch up. Okay, no problem. Glad you're okay with that. Anthony, they want new cars built to have breathalyzers in them by 3 years. So what you're telling me is that they don't want me to drive anymore. To be fair, I will be honest. I do not drive drunk. If I'm drunk, I will not get behind the wheel of a car. But I do drink, and odds are they'd be trying to stop, the old lone wolf over here from traveling around. Well, good thing I probably won't be buying a new car anytime soon. I'll still be getting around town in the old Trans Am or my daily driver, which is a Toyota Camry, and she runs like a clock, like a well-oiled clock. Man, love that Camry. I see you, Anthony. That is cause they know they are driving people to drink since they're screwed. Speaking from experience, that's a true statement. Damn. Politics will damn sure drive you to drinking, especially in today's climate. And if you got a problem with drinking, may I suggest try smoking that grass. It'll help just as good. Shadowban Refugee. Nah, Charles, they're going to outlaw gas vehicles by 2030. Well, they're saying that, but we'll see what happens. Seriously. I've been hearing that, but I could see where someone's going to try and push for that at some point. I don't know how well that's going to actually go over because, okay, first, case in point. The fucking government would not give us a UBI during a pandemic. They won't give us health care during the pandemic. Like, even if you don't want to do it permanently, like, they won't even take care of it now, right? We can't get them to back pay the late rent that people got behind on because of, all this bullshit that's going on through the pandemic. And you got penny pinchers like Joe Manchin, plus a lot of the Republicans say, we can't do all this spending. So you ban gas cars. I would think the only way you can do that and it be a popular decision would be if you say we're going to ban these but you're going to get these as a replacement instead. So I'm banning your Toyota Camry that runs on gas. We'll give you an electric suitable replacement, even though I don't know that I believe that. I think Toyotas run great, and I don't know that I trust some of the replacements. I have confidence in a Toyota brand, personally, and yeah, I don't really trust Chevrolet or whoever makes this fucking electric car that's going to be my replacement. I don't know much about Tesla, but Tesla's cost a fucking ass right now. So who's going to afford that? So the government's going to have to be the one to replace it, because if they don't, what you're basically saying is that they are then going to ban people's means of transportation, leaving them with nothing but fucking the foot express or horse and buggy. Good luck winning a fucking election ever when you literally take away people's means of transportation. And again, I don't think they're going to get the funding to give everyone a fucking car when they can't get the funding to do this shit right now. And within the next 10 years, you think that that's going to be the same? No. No. You can't fucking do that. Like whoever institutes that would be committing literally political career suicide with the fucking people, in my opinion. If they can't, you know, if they can't give them a fucking replacement, that their popularity would tank. Because I'll tell you right now, I is it possible? Sure. But I would say it would be nothing short of a fucking, Red Sea parting miracle to ever see the Republican Party go along with that shit. And if the Republican Party ain't going along with it, and the Democrat Party even thinks about trying some shit like that, woo boy, welcome in the Republicans, because they're coming, baby. They're coming. And you better believe when they come, they'd probably overturn that bullshit. I really don't see that being the case. Shadowban Refugee. Yeah, Charles. They're going to tell you that you can't own your gas vehicle, but you can rent that new Tesla for 20% your yearly income. Yeah, but people can't afford it. It doesn't matter. Renting, buying, what's the difference? If you can't afford it, just like fucking healthcare now, people can't afford it. They can't have anything. If you literally take away their means of transportation, no one is going to support you for dog catcher. Like, I mean, you're done. You're fucking done. You are done. And at the end of the day, yeah, they serve a donor class, but they want to get reelected. That's just like that. I think that you're hearing a lot of like right wing people say that. So like I've been told, um, I've been told like by a lot of people who are on the right, that very talking point, and they're saying that a lot. Like, oh, they're going to be banning the gas vehicles, and a lot of them try to say like Joe Biden's going to push for this shit too. And I'm like, what? You think Jimmy Dore just covered a piece. There's basically more oil drilling going on under Biden right now than there was under Trump. Furthermore than that, you think the guy that's taking money from the fossil fuel companies is going to support getting rid of gasoline? That's like saying that 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 the guys taking money from Jim Beam are going to support reinstating prohibition. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Don't get me wrong, there are a group of people who obviously want that to happen. I just don't see what the practicality of it is going to be for it actually happening. Furthermore than that, I'll say this too. If they're going to do this in the name of climate change, then again, my counter argument to that is it is useless to chase our own tail and fuck over our own country in the name of climate change when the rest of the world really ain't doing that damn much. I mean, flat out. So, um, I mean, that really ain't just gonna fucking work. Period. So, oh, let's see. Punch up. Franco was also surprised and thinks they won't give independent reporters a chance to be face to face with politicians like that. Yeah, I would say that. So, oh, let's see. Shadow ban refugee. They're gonna do that, bro. It's in the Great Reset. Let's see. Electric vehicles still charge on natural gas turbines. Oh, I mean, yeah, they do. But a lot of things still work on gas turbines now, and those gas companies can make more money selling you gasoline. The business wants to keep making more and more business. And again, I when you can't control what India's doing or what China's doing, I hear people saying China's going more green, but at the end of the day, they still pollute more than anyone else. And again, if you try to take people's literal means of transportation away and cannot give them a replacement for it, you're going to be so fucking unpopular, you won't win shit. You fucking won't. Like literally, that's literally like just coming in and ripping someone's literal, like if I've got a home, I've got to have a way to go to work to pay for my home. And if you take that away from me, you're literally going to put me out in the fucking street. So understand this. You would then have a massive spike, like I mentioned earlier, in unemployment because people can't go to fucking work. When that happens, you're going to have a massive spike in the homeless population. When you have a massive spike in the homeless population, you're going to have a massive spike in an economic crisis because people can't buy shit and there's more fucking people out in the streets that can't put food in their fucking mouth or a roof over their head because they don't have a fucking car to go back and forth to a job anymore. One of the biggest reasons people have job instability is when they don't have reliable transportation to go back and forth. That's why when you go to a lot of jobs, they'll ask you, do you have reliable transportation? So if you rip that shit away from someone and do not give them a way to continue to go to work, they would literally be causing, and I'm not saying they wouldn't do this. Of course, they've done it before. They let it happen with COVID, but they literally would be causing an economic fucking meltdown. I mean, so again, it's going to require them giving you a car as a replacement in exchange. Like, okay, let's take this and we'll give you this. Now, a lot of people still aren't going to be happy with that, but at least you've got a means of transportation at that point, right? But if they don't give you a car as a replacement, that ain't gonna work. And once again, I don't see the Republicans supporting that shit. They know where their bread's buttered, and that's that no, that ain't gonna fucking happen. So, you know, Anthony Reyes, they are in a transition, Charles. They will wane off oil and gas when it's profitable for them to do so. And then shadow ban, bro, it's in the infrastructure package. They're setting up for it. That's what I meant, Charles. They're going to let you rent their cars. You won't be able to own. Yeah, but dude, what if you can't afford the fucking rent? Like, understand there are people who don't pay a monthly payment on a car right now. Most of the country have old cars that are damn near paid for. If you can't afford to rent the car, then you can't have the fucking car. I didn't say allow people to rent the car. I said they have to give you a car. Like paid in full, this car is yours. If they don't do that and people can't afford the price of these high ass fucking cars, they won't win shit. And again, it might be in this infrastructure package, but the Republicans are going to win office between now and 2030. When that happens, you best believe they're going to roll back that bullshit. Guarantee you. The minute, like, Republicans obviously do way more in favor of the fossil fuel industry and the gasoline shit than the Democrats. I mean, it's flat out. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I see he's commented now. Yeah, that's the plan. It will keep you in desperation. The Republican Party will go along with it. It's bipartisan. I don't believe that. That 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 sounds like Green New Deal shit to me. How well did the Republicans support that shit? I mean, it just ain't gonna happen. Yeah, they want to keep people in desperation. So more than likely, they will be mandating potentially that, what I see happening is that if you want to drive some old ass fucking classic that pollutes like shit and gets terrible fucking gas mileage, you'll have to apply for like permits or some shit to be able to do so. Now that I see being the fucking case, because then of course it's no different than this fucking carbon credit system that they done for the fucking industries when they first started attacking global warming, right? Like, oh, this shit's going to lead to fucking climate change. We need to get rid of it. So you can purchase carbon credits. You're going to be, you get so much, but if you need more than that, you can buy some. So they can pollute just as fucking much as long as they're paying to pollute. That I could see being the fucking case, because for these people at the end of the fucking day, it's all about making that fucking money. So if you got an old 1960s classic or whatever and you want to keep driving it, I could very easily see where there's going to be something in place where they say, okay, you purchase this and you can still drive it. But if they literally take your means of transportation away from you and do not give you a car, if I've got a bought and paid for car, which I have a few of, and they take that shit away and don't give me one as a replacement, I'm just telling you right now, that shit is going to go over like a fucking turd in a punch bowl. And I do not see any evidence where the Republicans would back such a fucking rule. They haven't up to this point. Now, maybe they will. Maybe time will show that I'm wrong, but I just don't see that happening. Okay. Anthony, just saw a statistic. The buses in my city only showed up 59% of the time scheduled last year, and the PM AM was 70%. So yeah, there you go. Public transportation might not even fucking work. And there's a lot of places that aren't even offering public transportation right now. So there you go. Shadow Band refugee. That's why they set up the carbon emissions tracking in this new bill. Yeah, but I'm just fucking telling you. Number one, let's see what actually comes out of this fucking bill. I don't know that you're actually going to get all that shit done, for number one. Number two, even if it passes now, wait and see. Wait and see. The last time the Democrats had office, they enacted a lot of emission type shit and a lot of red tape too. And Trump came into office and snip got rid of that shit. And if they're talking 2030, you really think the Democrats are going to have a stronghold on the economy and the government through 2030? I don't. There's going to be a Republican wave coming probably in 2024, maybe even as early as 2022 in the midterms. I mean, you've even got like a Kyle coming out now and saying that he's expecting that. So, Anthony Reyes, I don't see a Republican winning in 2024. Really? You don't? I mean, who's going to beat him? Well, as he points out, they can manipulate the votes. If they lose, that's exactly why. If they lose, that's going to be what fucks them over. But I'm telling you right now, you've already, even though the Supreme Court wouldn't get involved, you've already got certain states who are doing their own little audits and shit right now, which is what a lot of the Republicans are clinging to hope on, right? But I'm telling you right now, with the way Kamala's popularity is going, and with the fact that literally they are going to be, going up against a very unpopular vice president running for president potentially, because I don't see Biden running for a second term. And Kamala will probably be the nominee if she wins. Ooh, no. No. I don't see that. People aren't going to buy that shit. People aren't going to buy that shit. And you can see what just happened last time come around to even fuller effect. So at some point, the Republicans, even if it ain't the presidency, they're going to regain power. And I just do not see. Look, maybe, the future will show I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. But I just don't see that happening, in all honesty. Let's see. I see you. They already do that here in Massachusetts, and you have to have an emission inspection every year and special permit for antiques that only allows you to drive on the weekend. So see, that's the kind of shit they're eventually going to get around to implementing. I live in a state right now where they don't even require the emission inspection, but I'm one of a few. I would fully expect they will be doing that kind of stuff because, look, I'm more in line with what Anthony Reyes said, which is if they do away with it, like, do I think gas cars are going to last for forever? No. Eventually, I think gasoline cars will go away. But by 2030, that's kind of like the people back in the 1990s that we'd have flying cars by 2020. I just don't see that happening. I don't think that in 10 years' time, you're going to make enough progress that you could feasibly do it. And if the argument is to make people desperate, that ain't making people desperate. Desperate would be if they have to have a car and you still gave them one or whatever. But if you literally create something where they can't even have a fucking car, you're going to not cause desperation. You're going to cause panic, crisis, and an economic fucking meltdown. I mean, that's what's going to happen. And if any political party intentionally goes out of their way to fuck over the majority of the country and crash the fucking economy, that party will, I don't give a damn who's controlling the votes. When you fuck over the whole country to that extent, people will probably finally turn on your ass. And that might be literally what sparks finally a revolution in the streets at that point, where people are like, fuck, enough is enough. Because if I'm losing my car, I'm about to lose my job, I'm about to lose my house. It's fucking time to do something about this shit. I'm just that's gonna go south. I could easily seeing that, if nothing else, being the catalyst that finally, sparks off a real revolution. So let's see, Anthony. The Senate will go more GOP either way, I think. Yeah, I agree. I'm telling you right now. I'm easily, even though I'd like to see third parties win, I would easily see the Republicans winning in 2022 and 2024. I think they'll win the presidency, but maybe not. But I definitely see them taking a majority back in the House and probably in the Senate too. And history shows that's just something that typically happens in midterm elections anyway. So, let's see. Anthony, build BlackRock better equals you will own nothing and like yeah, that's that's a pretty true statement. BlackRock, and look what they're doing with the home. So, I mean, look, am I saying they're going to leave the car market alone? No, I'm not dumb. They're probably going to, of course, attack the whole car market, and they're going to make a complete, shit show out of that whole fucking thing. At some point in time, and like Anthony Reyes said, when it benefits them the most to do so, if they got to a point, like, understand this, if people can naturally start buying more, electric vehicles, if they find a way to make them more affordable and more people start buying them and it doesn't affect that many people, sure, I could see them pulling the plug on us, like, what, 20% of the country. They've done that shit plenty of fucking times. But when you're doing something that's going to overwhelmingly affect the country as a whole, to fuck over literally everyone and potentially put them out of house and home because they don't have a means of transportation, I don't give a damn if it's great reset or great what the fuck ever. I don't see that fucking working. I just don't. Again, time will only tell, though. Anthony Reyes, the problem is in the way they set it up. There's no solidarity for people. If one side wins, the other side will team play. Well, yeah, I agree, but that's like I said, they team play, but the Republicans, of course, team play against what the Democrats want. The Democrats want to get rid of the whole gas thing. And what did the Republicans literally just run on? What was Trump saying on the debate stage? They want to do away with gas. The Republicans are running on that talking point, guys. They're running on that. Now, would it be the first time politicians ran on something and lied about it? No. But again, if the Democrats are pushing for that, the Republicans are smart enough to know, number one, that ain't going to be feasible. Number two, it would cause economic crisis. And number three, it's going to be highly unpopular. We'll capitalize on that because how many other things do we beat some of these left-wing policies on? Like, we beat them on the Second Amendment. We beat them on some civil liberties, freedom type stuff and individual freedoms and maybe some state rights and stuff like that. Yeah, we beat them on that. But healthcare, they kind of have the winning side. So there's a lot of things the Democrats say that they want to do that are more popular than the Republicans. So if they're looking at that, that's a big chip in the fucking armor for the Democrats. They would they'd go with that. So, and that's my opinion anyway. Let's see. Hey, Suze, I just want a left wing party that's willing to deficit spend on working people. I don't want a left wing party. I want something that actually represents the people. I don't want left wing. Left wing. I don't want left wing. I don't want right wing. I want something that actually stands for we the people again, and doesn't dictate left or right. That's what I want. So, and yeah, do something to help rebuild our middle class. That's what I want. That's what our country is really in a dire need of. But at this point, we're pushing an hour 45. So we're going to wrap it up here. If you like the video, make sure you're smashing that like button. It helps spread the video around. Drop the comments in the comment box below. Unity Through Music did not come out this past Monday. I will be working on one of those segments, trying to get it up by this coming Monday. Won't say which song it's going to be yet, though. You'll have to tune in and see. But remember to check out tomorrow. I'll be doing a video with David Spurrier. It might be on his channel, or he hasn't said whose show he wants to do it on. But it'll probably be going up sometime tomorrow, and then I'll have more videos coming in the coming weeks. Try to get some more guests on. And we'll see you next time right here on the Lone Wolf Podcast. Take care, everyone.